Hi there and welcome to TekTickle. I've called this channel TekTickle because I want you to have a ball. What this channel is all about, okay, I'm a guy who builds computers, whether it be gaming systems or even just general use desktops, editing workstations, whatever the case may be, and I do it using all creatively sourced components. Now, that might imply that I'm stealing them, but that's not the case. What I mean by creatively sourced components, I'm talking about buying used, of course, predominantly, but also hitting up e-waste companies, garage sales, police auctions, wherever I might theoretically get this stuff. The purpose, the end game, I like playing around with the stuff. I have done so for 15 years. If I do make a markup from the sale of anything I happen to put together, it usually goes right back in towards the channel, getting new stuff to benchmark and play with and showcase. Or I give stuff away. I will give away gaming systems to kids who maybe couldn't otherwise afford them. Or I will buy stuff to improve the channel otherwise, like new camera equipment, better lighting. Or I will write a check to a charity. So it's not my day job. It's just what I like to do for fun. And I figured it was time for me to take what I have learned over the last 15 years of doing this, since the days of, the Voodoo 2, and convey all of that knowledge to you in video form. For this first inaugural video, I'm going to take you on a tour of my workspace. Back there. It's all back there. Right back there. Yeah. Okay, for this segment of the video, I'm going to be using my on-camera mic, which is not nearly as good, but you'll fucking deal. There's my little personal setup. Let's take a tour of this first. That's my dog. Hi, dog. Hi, Mango. Hello, yes. That's you. There's my lights, my soft boxes, my little desk lamp. I got some Yeti mics. I do a podcast with a couple friends too, so that's what those are for. I got some Vaseline for jerking off. This is my desk. Got a nice 144 hertz monitor, 1080p, nothing too fancy. I've got my subwoofer off to the side because that's where I rest my camera when I film. And then I've got this. This is my main rig with my microphone in the way. Microphone stand in the way with no shock mount. And so this rig, by the way, is comprised of entirely creatively sourced components, as I mentioned before. So I put my money where my mouth is. I don't use new stuff, aside from the case. I'll be honest, the case is new, and this little USB hub that I glued to the top is also new. But everything inside, and the fans might be new too, and whatever else. But the graphics card, power supply, processor, motherboard, all-in-one water cooler, and SSD are all, and the RAM, are all 100% used and or, again, I say creatively sourced. We'll go over that in the future. In another video, I'll do a full fucking rundown of that build just for you. Got another computer down there. It's almost equally spec to the one I just showed you. It's just mainly hooked up to the TV. I also use the TV for testing finished systems. Let's walk over here to the workspace. The lighting has changed because we're using the shitty apartment overhead light. So down here I keep stuff. I got cases. I got an Enermax Ostrog down there that's got a full build in it with an i7 3770K, a GTX 680, 4GB. I got 16 gigs of RAM in that thing. There's a 240 gig SSD and a 1 terabyte hard drive. It's basically a nice standard run-of-the-mill, all-purpose sort of over-the-top for the majority of people kind of computer. And I'm looking to sell it for $800, which I think is a pretty reasonable deal. This is a sort of little desk I have set up with a small task chair. I put finished builds here and hooked them up to this broken Samsung monitor. It's broken in that the HDMI connector in the back is a little bit wobbly, but I still make good use of it. Here's my primary test area. So cardboard box, motherboard, AX860i power supply that I got really cheap, an old 1680 by 1050 monitor that I do all my testing on. I've got MemTest 86 Plus running right now on this motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo. What happens to be an i5 4460 on an H97 Pro 4 ASRock motherboard and 8 gigs of RAM. So this is like pretty much a ready to go system once I get it all finished up. Just throw a graphics card and a drive on this and you're good to go. So we have storage shelves here. We got power supplies up top, all kinds of different power supplies. We've got I/O shields back here, looks like, and an old fucking 1366 cooler. Oh, stock coolers! So many stock coolers. Look at that. AMD, you got your Intel. There's another cooler at the Hyper TX3 from Cooler Master. We've got a bunch of laptop hard drives. 2.5-inch hard drives, by the way, are great for small form factor builds. There's my box O RAM. Everything in there is 2, 4, or 8 gigabyte sticks of DDR3. I do not deal in DDR2 anymore. I think they've become just a little bit too old for me to care about. See, we got some screwdrivers in there. We have the processors in here. There's an i5 4690 in there somewhere, and that's an i7 920. And an Angry Dog, and that's empty. We got dust filters, a bunch of hard drives down here, varying size and age. Some of those are broken in the back, including that SSD back there. Speaking of SSDs, got a stack of those right there. That's an 850 Pro on top. There's a bunch of shittier ones on the bottom. Down here we have graphics cards and anti-static bags. Ooh, here's a teaser. Here's a video, future video I'm going to tease. Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, it's just an AMD reference card. You know, what's the big deal? What's so special about this? For those of you unaware, when AMD makes reference cards, they will put this shroud on them. The R9 200 series had this shroud featured throughout all of their reference models, but they never had these this dual fan configuration. It was always blower style coolers with the vanes and the impellers and whatnot that would pump air straight at the back. But you know, here you're looking at heat pipes and fins underneath with two big what look to be like 90 some odd millimeter fans. Like this looks like a standard aftermarket cooler style graphics card, but it's clearly AMD. So what is it? Well, it's actually an R9 390X. As for why it looks like this, well, I'm not entirely sure, but I have some theories based on who I got it from and where I got it from. I get a lot of cards that appear to be engineering samples straight from the AMD labs. I will talk about it in great length at a later date, but gives you an idea of what I mean by creatively sourced components. Down here on this bottom shelf that fits so conveniently under my desk, we have some beautiful motherboard boxes that may or may not be full of motherboards. I think all of those are, in fact. Got some more coolers. That's a power supply that I have no modular cables for, so I use it to ground my anti-static mat, which is right there. And then I got some finished builds down here featuring the Xeon X310 case, which I will be talking about at great length as my channel goes on, because I love this little tiny $26 case. But I think that pretty much does it. I don't want to make you guys any more nauseous, so yeah. So let's pan out. Let's get the big picture. What's up, bitch? How you doing? So there you have it. There's my intro video and intro tour. I want you to stay tuned because I have a lot of interesting things to share. I'm doing this because I want you to save money. I don't want you to spend more money than you have to spend to get fucking tripod legs that stay straight and computer components. So stay tuned, and thanks for watching.